The Palace of Versailles is a French palace constructed under Louis XIII in 1623. Louis XIV, however, is the greatest contributor to the construction of the palace. One of his most significant contributions to the palace were the establishments of the gardens. He purchased the surrounding land and hired André Le Nôtre as the chief landscape designer.
In early 1600s France, the middle classes were highly susceptible to the forces of nature. Extreme weather conditions, disease, and famine were seen as natural disasters which could not be avoided by average humans. Thus, the ability for a person to control and manipulate nature was a certain sign of power. Only the king had the resources to create the illusion that he in fact was impervious to the dangers of nature. Louis hired Le Nôtre to do just that. He furthers the idea that a man of royalty and importance has the power to control the natural world by carving and redesigning the nature that he placed. However, at the same time, a traveler is forced to walk through one slender path, surrounded on two sides by nature. To some extent, Le Nôtre seems to be embedding a concept that a person should be humbled by the fact that only so much control can be achieved. One theme or technique which he consistently employs is the radial pattern centered around a hierarchical focus. He uses fountains and sculpted hedges to create a center which is reinforced by walkways radiating from it. When the sun appeared, its rays signaled the petite lever of the king whose bedchamber was situated at the center of the palace, facing due east. Thus, the monarch rose like the diurnal orb, bringing to France and the world beyond yet another day of glory.
The labyrinth has been a common feature of French, Italian, and English gardens since the Middle Ages, but here its hidden meanings have disappeared. On passes from a regimented exterior into an amorphous wilderness of unpruned vegetation into rich educational features were nevertheless incorporated. King Louis XIV's desire was to never take visitors along a main avenue or walk, and he preferred the labyrinth journey of initiation instead. Many of the garden's labyrinths opened up to one of the four ornamental ponds representing the seasons: summer, spring, autumn, and winter, all in the four corners. They represented octagonal or hexagonal copings in marble, and they're situated in two parallel walks on either side of the gardens. This was to help demonstrate the control over nature while using events in nature to help fortify the idea of control. These feats, or open-air theaters, were used to entertain the king's guests. They were surrounded by bosquets, or highly trimmed hedges, to give the user a feeling of being in nature while still being in a defined space.